Hey guys, Matt here, Broken Supercoach, checking in. Little trade video. Teams have just dropped, so why not? Let's put a trade video up. I think what I said at the end of last episode, or the round review, is probably what we'll do, regardless of how the teams have turned out. So Noah Long, bit of hamstring soreness, he was listed as. So he's out for the time being. Break even to 37. He might come back as a sub. It's not the end of the world to not trade him now, though. Mackenzie on the extended bench. Obviously, that's sub risk. He's done for me. 89. He's not going to make that regardless. And the other one I was talking about was Jinby. How do you feel about Jinby? 81 break even. He's already gone down 4K. If he scores more than 80 against, who is it? Against Port, which is probably unlikely, it would be his second best score for the whole season. Plus, he's cooked. Like all the West Coast players are cooked. They've been talking about needing to rest him. They've been talking about needing to, use him as a sub, but they don't have players, so he's cooked regardless. I mean, if you don't trade him because you wanted a point, because you wanted his points, that's okay. If you did Long instead, say you didn't need the extra money, which it's a substantial amount of money. It's 50k. If you don't need that 50k, then sure, you can play Jimby and trade Long out. I just don't think. I can't see myself doing it. I think I'm just going to get rid of Jimby. He's done regardless, and we'll see how Long goes. It gives us a week to see what happens with Long, whether his name's straight back on field. Maybe he reboosts his scoring. That's not going to happen for Jimby. He's not boosting his scoring again. Even if he scores with a break even of 90, he's still not. With a break even of 80, even if he drops a 90, he's only gone up a little bit of cash anyway. So it looks like he's finished. He did look like a 400k player at some point, but if they don't have the players to rest him, then it's not going to happen, is it? Sadly. So, yeah, he's done. Mackenzie's done. And we'll send those two. And it's the same move. Obviously, I had Dylan Williams as the guy I was trading in prior. Because I figured he might play. It's been named on extended bench, sub risk. I don't want to pick a guy who's sub risk. I don't care. So Matt Roberts comes in, and then just how the cookies have crumbled. We've got to think about who we're going to pick here. I really like Callum Wilkie, but I'm going to go Tom Stewart just because he's reliable. But I really like Callum Wilkie. Don't get me wrong. I think this guy's sick. I'm worried about this 50, and I haven't watched enough St Kilda games to really talk about him, so I'm worried about this 50. But he looks killer. I mean, the game I watched, Collingwood versus Saints, he just non-stop gets marks, and he doesn't get kick-ins. He gets the even better thing than kick-ins. So if I can describe this for a sec, you love guys like Dacos who take the kick-ins. You love guys like Ryan who take the kick-ins. That's why we did like Dawson until he became a full-time mid. We like those guys that took kick-ins because they play on and they get a free kick, like a cheap kick. Wilkie goes one better, and St Kilda, like 50% of the time, goes short to him. So he gets a mark and a kick from the kick-in. So it's a really nice strategy play to grab Wilkie. For me, I just don't think he's best six. I'm getting back on Tom Stewart. I hate that I'm doing it, but we're getting back on him. And what did we trade him for? So we're bringing him in for 600, and we traded him in round one for 604. So we lost no money. We used two trades. So good. He was on my never again list, but whatever. Just hate the guy, honestly. And hit trade there. And then we need to do a little bit of shuffling, just because we've got this Robert situation here. We got Green and Hollands have got to go. We got no bench cover there, so we're just going to use Dawson here just to cover a little bit of this because it looks pretty average, and then we're probably going to sit it like that. I had Sheasel up here last time, and now I don't remember how I even did it. I think I traded him out. So I may shuffle around again with the trades because you have to use... In fact, I may need to do that again. So let's undo the trade because I need to get Sheasel up in that line is what I want to do. So you've actually got to go trade Jinby. You've got to go trade McKenzie, and then you send, I'll say we send Zeeble up, whatever, and then you bring in, and then sub him down, and then you bring in. So keep that in mind. Unless someone knows how to do it, in order to send someone up in the lines, as far as getting, say, Zeeble to here, you actually have to do it in a trade, weirdly, if it's not a straight swap. So in that instance, it was Zeeble to defense, Dawson to mid, and Roberts into forward, and none of them were able to, like, I couldn't really swap any of them around. I probably could have shuffled around if I'd really put my brain to it, but you can't leave an empty spot in defense. So, and Zeeble and Dawson are the one that needed to swap. So really strange stuff, but keep that in mind when you're trying to send those guys up. You probably need to do it through a trade. Anyway, apologies for that bit of rambling. We throw him on. Dawson obviously comes on for Tom Green, who's suspended. It's not a trade out. It's a 1 weeker. Big deal. That's probably the field. Absolute rookie roulette with these guys. Who cares? The other thing I wanted to talk about was, we'll probably put Van Rooyen on field. Feel pretty good about that. The other thing we want to talk about was captaincy options. We've only got the 3 guys, the guys here. I don't trust the Constables, not the sub. I suppose we've got now Noah Long, who's playing on Friday as well. And we've got Tom Green, who's playing on Saturday. We don't really have any vice captaincy options, sadly. The one game West Coast play on Friday. And like I said, I don't trust that this guy doesn't somehow become the sub. Like, it's too scary for me, because he should be playing, right? So we'll see how that goes. We could loop through him, but whatever. We're just going to slap the V on English. He's in such good form, and we'll captain Oliver. We could captain Dawson, but I'm hesitant to captain any Crows players because of the tag Finn McGuinness named in. So anyway, too long on that one. Let us know what your trades are. What rookies do you like? With Dylan Williams named probably as a sub, I think he's a no-go now. Who you're trading out? Like I said, it's okay if you trade Long instead of Jinby. If you didn't need that 50k, I did. Who you bringing in? For me, it's Stewart. That gives me 6. My defense line is essentially finished with Dawson there and Sheasel there. That's good for me. I'm happy with that. Maybe if Wilkie's scoring, it's Sheasel for Wilkie towards the end of the year. Or someone else. I don't really think there's any other defenders that are worth looking at. Let us know what your thoughts are as far as guys that you'd like to bring in. I know a lot of people are bringing in Bont. I would have liked to do that as well. I just feel better on the defense line shoring this up. There's no rookies, so the more we can, especially with, who's that guy? Seamus Mitchell named in the extended bench. We got Wagner, or whatever. So there's no one to come in. So I want defenders finished. Yeah, anyway. Oh, and big news, obviously, Gawn was named R1. So in the next 2 weeks, I think it's not next week, it'll be the week after, all of my money will go towards getting enough money to turn Marshall into Gawn. So that's a spoiler alert for the next few weeks. Anyway, yeah, thanks. See ya.